Hi, so I'm Nara'ini Aria, and I will be narrating the rest of the stories, which began as a series of never ending stories. So far, I will give you a quick recap. Never ending stories began for I'm not going to read the exact definition, but it is what is stated in the description. A vast interconnected universe where human feelings constantly loop, requiring intervention. Correct. So basically, these are stories which people can relate with. And where AI comes in is the point of AI is supposed to, point of technology, is supposed to be to help us in sharing our stories with others so that you can relate to it and share your story so that no one person should feel like an island. Because if all of us become islands, we are not going to be able to help each other. Because that is how the truth gets hidden. And the truth keeps getting covered up by lies. And we keep getting labeled and divided under those labels, which doesn't really help anyone. So, the only way we can really help ourselves is by helping, say, your story. Because the moment you say your story, I'm sure 1 in a billion will come up and tell you that I felt the same. I went through the same. So, no matter where you are, no matter what kind of a person you are and what you feel, you will always know that you are not alone. No matter where. Even if it's your imagination or whether you are in reality, there is someone else who is exactly like you, or maybe who understands you, which is the whole purpose of stories, right? Connecting. So far, I think we've completed 3 series. What you see in the playlist is TTZ. TTZ stands for the Twilight Zone. And the Twilight Zone is a huge inspiration and influence on the stories that fall under the Twilight Zone playlist. The Twilight Zone is actually a space, as described in one of the videos. It is a place of between right and wrong, basically, where you are not judged as you would be judged on earth or in society. You are your own moral compass. And which is what she states when she says that when the smoke clears, you stand in the twilight zone. Because basically that is what is happening with all of us. We are so clouded, our innermost, what you call the God particle or the unity or whatever it is, that single thing that we all are looking for, that peace of mind. And the reason we use prayers or whatever we are trying to do to get to that peace of mind is nothing but the filters that we had applied over it, which is what she means when she says when the smoke clears. So basically we need to find a way to clear those filters. And the Twilight Zone is this place where everything is cleared up. You have clarity. even though the stories sound a little more confusing, they are more clear than how reality sounds. Then the second series that we had was inspired by stories and the movies of Manoj Knight Shyamalan, which stands with the acronym of MNS. What you think she is a lie you made up. So there we have a few stories of mystery and suspense. And then we come to the third one, which is Krishna, the new kind of anger. In the beginning of the series, there is a video which explains who the Krishna, the new kind of anger, is. The kind of anger was considered the Pied Piper, or what we have in India considered as Krishna, who found a place in people's heart through the flute, through music. But the kind of anger has taken on a darker side, where they use music or the sound or voice to lure people in, but not for any evil purpose. It is but to save them from something worse. So, if you have listened to Krishna, the new kind of anger, you will know that she is more like a vigilante who steps in when she hears the cry for help, which is not usually audible to human sense. Yeah. So that is where kind of anger Krishna steps in. She doesn't punish the darkness, she swallows it, yes. So her punishment is not just like dishum, beat the bad guys and end of story. It's where she helps both parties, the victim and the perpetrator. Because the perpetrator is nothing but a victim in the beginning, where the trauma has not been addressed. So first you need to fix the root, and then the tree eventually fixes itself. So far that is the 3 series that we have done. And I will be starting with the next story, which is inspired by Black Mirror. So Black Mirror goes deeper into technology and the flaws of technology and the benefits. One very basic flaw I can say is it has separated us, and the very flaw itself is also a good thing. The people who are lonely have been able to find or create through AI exactly what they need. So it is like what it states. The flaw is not in the soul, it is in the system. If we can fix the system itself, we would not have any flaws. Because the soul, as it is, once you are born, once you arrive here, we are all pure, or whatever dogma you believe in. The majority of flaws or sins or cleansing that is required is really not consciously your fault. It is but what you pick up from your surroundings, be it your immediate parents. Even if you start from the womb, it is what you can hear from the womb or what you can feel from the womb. Yes, a child does feel from the womb. If you remember them kicking you, so that means they can react at certain sounds. And that is another study altogether. So we'll go into that in another series. But right now, I'll begin with Black Mirror in the next set. And let me know if you have any particular stories that you need to share. In the description, I've shared the next upcoming stories, which is, one is inspired by Frankenstein. Then there is one which is Aria the Unconquerable. Then there is one coming up called Om Kainat Swaha. That's a very personal favorite of mine, where there are stories of justice delivered for each and every element of the universe. Yes, like each and every speck, planet, be it soil, plant, dust, they are given a chance to speak. That should be an interesting one. And then there is Jungle Ka Nyay, stories of justice for every animal. So every animal has also been given a voice, and this way, I guess everyone has been able to been given a voice. The soul, the paranormal, the reality, technology, monsters, innocence. So everyone has been given a chance to speak their truth. And the last one that I will be narrating will be, not the last one, so far for the series, should be the Gulf War, 1992. That would be a rather long one, which is why I said the last one. That will be a complete novel. It has around 12 chapters. And let me know if you have any specific one or specific order you want to hear first. Till then, I'll meet you at the beginning of Black Mirror. Right, so before I begin with Black Mirror, I wanted to share one thing. Was if you need any of the stories in a hard copy, you can just let me know. The email address is provided there. You can just let me know and I will share with you a PDF of all the stories compiled, because like me, there might be a lot more people who are more fond of reading hard copies, and there are some who still like listening to the radio. So this one is for the airwaves, for the radio people, and I have not thought about converting them into stories so far. Stories meaning in animation so far. So it's just going to be me telling you the stories that have been written and inspired by life itself, technology itself. So, yeah, let me know if you need them in hard copy and I'll share the PDFs with you.